This is Debbie Aldridge with Freedom's Voice. I'm here at the Free Iran rally at Ashraf 3. And with me, as you may notice, I have the Honorable Ayatollah, tell me,
Jala Ganje,
Jana,
Jalal Ganje,
Jana Jandri,
Ganje.
Jangari. I'm saying it wrong, so I'm going to let them say it. We have an interpreter with us, but thank you so much for allowing me to interview you.
He's also happy to be here.
Thank you. So you are Iranian, is that correct? As all these people here are Iranian.
ایرانی هستین شما درسته؟ Yes, he is Iranian.
Yes. So how did you come to join the NCRI and the Freedom for Iran?
من از زمان شاه علیه شاه مبارزه میکردم.
He fought against Shah's regime at that time.
5 سال زندانی سیاسی بودم زمان شاه.
He was a political prisoner for 5 years at the time of Shah's regime.
از همون هنگام به مجاهدین خلق علاقه‌مند شدم در زندان.
He had the tendency towards the MEK since that time.
Okay. Can I just get you? There you go. I want to make sure they see him. But we can see you too, but I want to make sure they see him. So, when were you freed from prison?
یک سال به انقلاب.
Just 1 year before the Islamic Revolution, so 1978.
1978. How many years did you spend in prison?
5 years.
5 years in prison. Did they torture you? Did they treat you bad?
فراوان.
Lots and lots.
Wow, amazing. So how did you go from getting out of prison after the revolution to now being fighting for freedom for Iran against the regime?
خب این سرنوشت ملت ایران باید تعیین میشد و هنوز تعیین نشده.
The destiny of the nation of Iran must be clear, and it's not clear yet.
ما به عنوان فعالین انقلاب ایران، انقلاب ضد سلطنتی، در اساس برای آزادی و دموکراسی مبارزه میکردیم. با شاه دشمنی شخصی نداشتیم.
As activists for freedom in Iran, we fought against Shah because of freedom and democracy, and we did not achieve it.
میدونید که شاه بعد از کودتای 28 مرداد تمامی احزاب آزادی خواه رو منحل کرده بود.
So you know, after the coup d'etat, Mossadegh coup d'etat, at that time, Shah dismantled all the parties, all the political parties.
چند حزب خانوادگی وابسته به دربار بود که شاه همونها رو هم تحمل نکرد، تبدیل کرد به یک حزب.
Only a handful of parties, like family close parties, belong to the relatives of Shah existed, and even he didn't bear those and closed them down and just let one party exist.
جالبه که گفت که هر که دوست نداره گذرنامه بگیر از ایران بره.
And it's very interesting that he said whoever does not like this party, this one single party, could get his passport and exit Iran.
به این ترتیب شاه آزادی خواهی در ایران رو به بنبست رسوند و ما به این دلیل باش مبارزه می‌کردیم.
So Shah blocked freedom in Iran, and that's the main reason that we fought against him.
سراسر ایران در ماه‌های انقلاب شعار یک آزادی بود.
For months and months before the revolution, 1979 revolution, the main slogan was freedom.
حتی خمینی موقعی که در پاریس بود روی وعده آزادی، انواع آزادی ها تاکید میکرد، حتی میگفت که غیر مذهبی ها و کمونیست ها در ایران آزاد خواهند بود.
Even Khomeini, at the time he was in Paris right before the revolution, he emphasized on freedom, all kinds of freedom, even for those non-religious or communists. He promised that they will have their freedom.
بنابراین وقتی که انقلاب به وجود آمد ولی آزادی محقق نشد، ما رسالتمون تموم شده نبود.
So once the revolution took place and there was no freedom, our job was not done. So our job is still going.
Still going. So then did he leave Iran at that time?
So
اگه اجازه بدین من اضافه بکنم.
So you would like to add one more point?
بله. به خصوص بعد از حاکمیت آخوندها ما دیدیم که حقوق مردم یعنی پامال شدن آزادی‌ها توجیه مذهبی میشه.
So right after the revolution, we watched how freedom of people were taken away from them in the name of religion.
به این ترتیب من و خواهران و برادران مجاهد من یک وظیفه دوگانه پیدا کردیم برای مبارزه کردن با خمینی، هم دفاع از حیثیت اسلام که ذاتاً خواهان آزادی‌ها بود و هم دفاع از آزادی‌ها که آرزوی یک مردم ایران.
Therefore, we found two duties, me and my brothers and sisters at the MEK, and that was the first one was to defend Islam, which protects all kinds of freedoms, and also the second duty was to fight for freedom for the people.
Very interesting path, and I don't think the American public, my viewers are American. See an Ayatollah and see that an Ayatollah is on the side of freedom, because the only thing they know of Ayatollahs is oppressive.
متاسفانه من هم کمی اطلاع دارم که پرس یعنی رسانه ها کافی نیستن برای تأمین آگاهی آزاد در سطح جهان.
So unfortunately, he knows a little bit. He knows enough that the media have not fully covered the truth about the reality that's going on in Iran.
هم سیاست و هم اقتصاد تاثیر منفی خودشو میذاره.
Yes, economy and politics sometimes affect negatively on the media.
ولی من برای اطلاع شما و همینجور بینندگان آمریکایی اجازه بدید که اضافه بکنم که ایستادگی ما مذهبی ها برای دفاع از آزادی های مردم با انقلاب ایران شروع نشده.
So just to add a note, so your audience would know, our fight for freedom did not begin with the Islamic Revolution.
در انقلاب مشروطیت 120 سال قبل جناح قوی‌تر جنبش مشروطه دست علمایی بود که ضد استبداد بودند.
So 120 years ago, at the time of constitutional revolution in Iran, the upper hand belonged to the religious figures and clerics who opposed suppression and oppression.
I think for the American people to hear from an Islamic cleric, an Ayatollah, a leader, I think it's new for them. Maybe not all Americans, but I believe a lot of Americans are surprised to hear from an Ayatollah who believes in freedom of religion, freedom to live one's choice. Is that correct? Is that his...
بیشتر مخاطبین امریکایی خیلی عجیب شاید به نظر بیاد که یه آیت الله برای آزادی اما آزادی مبارزه میکنه. آیا درسته که شما برای اما آزادی مبارزه میکنید؟
من شخصا در تدوین طرح رابطه دولت دموکراتیک ایران با ادیان و مذاهب مسئولیت کمیسیون ما بود. من در تدوین این طرح تاثیر مستقیم داشتم.
So he had direct role in the addition in writing the relationship between within the transitional government for after the revolution. He had the direct role.
ماده اول اون طرح که الان جزء برنامه 10 ماده‌ای خانم رجبی هست میگه.
So the first within the 10-point plan, the very first point says
هیچ ایرانی به خاطر داشتن یا نداشتن یک مذهب یا عقیده یا فلسفه از هیچ حق و فرصتی نباید محروم بشه.
No single Iranian should be prevented from his or her rights because of believing or not believing in any kind of school of thoughts.
اجازه بدید اضافه بکنم که این طرح 30 سال قبل تصویب شد.
Also, let me add that this resolution was passed over 30 years ago.
یعنی موقعی که خمینی در اوج قدرت بود و هنوز زنده بود.
Meaning at the time that Khomeini was at the peak of his power.
یعنی ما آگاه بودیم که با مردم ایران با این زبان صحبت بکنیم و مردم ایران خواهان تبعیض مذهبی نیستند.
Meaning that we were aware that of the desire of the Iranian people and how to talk to them. Meaning that they knew they wanted freedom. We knew they wanted freedom, and they did not prove what Khomeini did.
So, sir, your honorable Ayatollah, do you see today getting closer to seeing Iran free and the regime change coming?
Very strongly.
تمامی ادعاهای فریبکارانه رژیم رسوا شده.
Yes, very strongly because the regime has played all his cards.
رژیم مدعی عدالت و تقوا در سطح جهان به عنوان فاسدترین رژیم شناخته میشه.
The regime that advertised itself as just and believer in God is known now as the number one corrupted regime in the world.
سران رژیم بارها اعلام کردند که فقط 4% مردم ایران از این رژیم سود میبرند و هوادارش هستند.
The heads of the regime have said repeatedly that only 4%, less than 4% of the population of Iran support them.
ما دوام آوردیم با رغم تمام توطئه‌هایی که وجود داشته هستیم.
We have survived all the troubles that we've gone through, and we are still here after 40 years.
دنیا شروع کرده ما رو بفهمه.
The world has begun to understand us.
I was just going to ask that. Do you feel today that you have more support than you have had in previous years? Is that a result of Iran propping up terrorist organizations, terrorist proxy wars, or is it a result of getting the message out? The Iranian people really want freedom for all.
آیا فکر می‌کنید که الان بیشتر از سال‌های قبل ساپورت و همراهی دارید و آیا فکر می‌کنید این به خاطر وحشی‌تر شدن رژیم یا به خاطر اینکه که مردم بیشتر خواهان آزادی هست؟
این دو تا با هم یکیه.
So those are the two sides of the same coin.
طبیعاً افزایش وحشیگری رژیم باعث میشه که بیشتر مردم بفهمن که راه دیگری ندارن جز تعویض رژیم.
So naturally the increase in brutality of the regime means that people understand more that there is no other way than to change the regime.
در مقابل این رژیم تنها صدای واضح و روشنی که نویدهای مشخصی برای آزادی‌های مردم میده ما هستیم.
So against this regime the only clear voice that represents very clear platform and messages for the future is the NCRI.
راهی باقی نمیمونه.
Therefore it's very clear that's the only way.
Absolutely. In the 2 years I have been covering the NCRI, I have seen a growth of support from Americans, from average citizens, from people around the world, particularly as Iran has had agents trying to target Iranians as well as Americans and other people, whether it be in Europe or the United States. And I think that has been a rally cry for the world to come together and support the Iranian people. Would he agree?
در این 2 سال اخیر که این اتفاقات ایونت‌های گردهمایی‌ها و مسائل مقاومت رو پوشش میدادم دیدم که هواداران از سرتاسر دنیا چه ایرانی چه آمریکایی بیشتر شده و این نشون دهنده این هست که واقعا همه دیگه واقعا آزادی و تغییر رو میخوان. آیا فکر می‌کنید که این درست است؟ همینطور است.
این آره همینطور هست به این معنی که من توضیح میدم.
Yes, it is true, and I explain how it is true.
درخواست آزادی تازگی نداره، همیشه بوده.
The demand for freedom is not something new; it's always been there.
ولی امید به محقق شدنش افزایش پیدا کرد.
But the hope for it to come has increased.
I do think also that because of this particular time that we're in the last couple of years, that the public outside of the Iranian community are seeing a very distinct difference between extremism and those who believe in freedom, whether it's Islamic freedom to choose what you practice or, other faiths, because we've seen such a rise in extremism. And I think there was that wasn't as defined as it is today.
به خصوص در عرض 2 سال گذشته به خاطر همین اتفاقاتی که در جریان بوده، مردم گویا که بیشتر دارن تفاوت بین بنیادگرایی، اسلام بنیادگرا و اسلامی که به آزادی‌ها و همه جور ادیان مختلف و آزادی‌ها اعتقاد داره پی میبرن.
بله این حرف درست هست.
That's a very true statement.
ولی در ایران متفاوت از دیگر کشورهای اسلامی و حتی کشورهای عربی منطقه.
But in Iran, different from other Muslim countries and even different from the neighbor countries.
این خواستها همیشه قوی‌تر بوده.
These desires have always been stronger.
شما ببینید هم تاریخچه مجاهدین رو نگاه بکنید.
Just look at the history of the MK.
مجاهدین در اول انقلاب چیزی در حد 100 نفر بودند.
The MK at the beginning of the revolution were only like about 100 people.
در همون ماه‌های اول نیروی در ارتباط با مجاهدین به 500,000 نفر رسید.
Only within the first few months after the revolution, the people in contact with the MEK increased to a few 100,000 people.
در این حالی که خمینی زنده بود.
Just at the same time that Khomeini was alive in prison.
دروغ‌ها خیلی کمتر افشا شده بود.
His lies were not people did not know that he was of his lies.
برای همین بود که خمینی 120,000 نفر از ما کشت.
That's why Khomeini killed 120,000 of us.
چون تعادل قوا به گونه‌ای بود که یا باید بیاد پای یک ائتلاف ملی که ظرفیتش نداشت.
Because the power balance was at the point that he had two choices: either go with the national coalition with joining other different school of thoughts,
یا باید حذف میکرد.
or he had to eliminate all of them.
اون اول حذف رو با شیوه شیطان سازی دنبال کرد.
He chose to eliminate by the method of demonizing first. At first, he called them. He said they're not Muslim and they're like infidels and they're corrupted and they're.
So that they were called. They weren't Muslim by the Iran, by Khomeini.
Yes.
He called other Muslims not Muslims if they weren't practicing Islam.
Yes, he called the MEK particularly non-Muslims. He said they're not Muslims. They're infidels. They're two-faced and they're corrupt. They're like really terrible people.
یک علامت بسیار مهمیه که شیطان سازی اون هم توسط خمینی نتونست ما رو ضعیف بکنه.
This is a very strong and important sign that demonizing the MEK by Khomeini did not make us weak.
یعنی این بالا بودن رشد جامعه ایران رو نشون میده.
This shows the advancement, how advanced the Iranian society is.
در نتیجه خمینی به کشتار رو برد.
Therefore Khomeini turned to killing.
البته
And also
ما نیرویی بودیم که با کشتار کشته نمی‌شدیم.
We were the force that did not disappear by just being killed.
من شخصاً 9 نفر از نزدیکانم اعدام شدن.
So I personally, 9 of my very close relatives have been executed.
همه کشته دادند.
Everyone has had a martyr.
ولی مایوس نشدیم.
But never lost hope.
That is something that I've realized in the 2 years I've been involved with the NCRI, interviewing them, going to their event, how many members have lost family members, whether it's fathers, mothers, sisters, friends, brothers, during the revolution and since then in prison. I think it's been great interviewing the Ayatollah because I think the message is starting to change in the West as to not all Muslims are extremists and that they're people that want freedom as much as anybody else wants freedom and have that right.
خیلی شگفت انگیز بوده برای من تو این 2 سالی که دارم این NCRI رو فالو میکنم دنبال میکنم که ببینم که دیدیم که چقدر واقعا عجیبه که چه خویشاوندهایی رو چه تعداد بالایی رو از دست دادن ولی چیزی هم که نوید بخش هست این است که مردم سراسر دنیا دارن متوجه میشن که همه مسلمان ها بنیادگرا نیستن بلکه فارغ از اینکه مسلمان هستن یا نه همه خواهان آزادی و ارزش‌های یکسان هستند.
بله این چیزی است که باید بهش تکیه کرد.
And this is something that we should lean on.
Absolutely. We need to lean on that. We need to come together as brothers and sisters fighting for freedom. And for me to be able to get this message out to my viewers in America, in the West, to continue to bridge that gap for people around the world who are fighting for freedom like the Iranian people.
دقیقاً درسته ما باید مثل خواهر برادر کنار هم قرار بگیریم برای آزادی بجنگیم و برای من خیلی مهمه که این پیام‌های شما رو به مردم خودم تو آمریکا و حتی غرب منتقل بکنم که باید کنار هم قرار بگیریم برای آزادی بجنگیم.
خب طبعا برای من خوشحال کننده است براتون آرزوی موفقیت میکنم ولی
This makes me very happy and this is a great opportunity for me to share my thoughts with but
ولی دیگه به خاطر شخص خودشون توصیه میکنم که بیشتر این جنبش رو بشناسن.
But just for you yourself, he's recommending that you get to know this movement even better and closer and more.
قابل بررسی هست.
This has so much capacity for investigation.
یک جنبش 100% مسلمان در یک کشور اسلامی مثل ایران رهبریش یک بارچه دست زنان هست.
This is an incredible point that 100% Islamic movement in a Muslim country such as Iran, the leadership is 100% at the hands of women.
این زنان بسیارشون از ما جوان‌ترن.
These women are most of them are much younger than us.
پروسه مبارزاتیشون کوتاه‌تره.
They have fought for such shorter time compared to us.
ولی ما اونها رو شایسته رهبری میشناسیم.
But we recognize them as our leaders because they are more capable.
این یک پدیده بسیار شگفت‌انگیزی در کشور
This is an extraordinary situation.
این تفاوت ایران با کشورهای همسایه است.
This is the difference between Iran and the neighbor countries in the region.
و البته در بهره برداری از این تفاوت عمیق‌تر کردنش، بالغ کردنش رهبری ما بسیار نقش مهمی داشت.
And also for this fact, our leadership has had the main role to bring this into the scenery of the politics.
اگر ما مریم رجبی رو نداشتیم دیرتر به این نقطه می‌رسیدیم.
If we did not have Maryam Rajabi, we would have gotten to this point much later.
Yes, I have recognized and I've gotten to know many of the women in the NCRI, and I have the greatest respect for them. And now when I see them at events, it's like a reunion. And I think it's so great because these are real women warriors. They are the true feminists. Leading the way for the world, really, because we have often defined women in different ways. And I think the Iranian women taking this forward step in leading the movement is, I think, something we haven't really seen before, particularly from the Muslim world. And I think it has opened the door. You look at Saudi Arabia now, they're doing more with the women, allowing them to drive, they're opening up opportunities for women. We're seeing this in Iraq even, where women have led troops in Iraq, Iraqi women, and we have seen, this idea of women leading beginning to spread throughout the Middle East and other countries. And for those women in the West, I'm sorry this is long, for those of us in the West, that really believe in equality and women can do more than they think they can. This is a great thing, and I do admire the women here.
در این مشخصا در این 2 سالی که این جنبش رو پوشش میدم با خیلی از زنان آشنا شدم در این جنبش و میبینم که واقعا این زنان حقیقی هستن که برای به خصوص حقوق زنان جنگ میکنن و تاثیر خیلی عمیقی داشتن توی منطقه، مشخصا تو عربستان، توی عراق میبینیم که مثلا پلیس نیروهای نظامی زنان وارد شدن و کل منطقه رو میبینیم که تحت تاثیر خودشون قرار دارن و برای ما زنها توی غرب هم به خصوص که آزادی‌ها و برابری‌ها اعتقاد عمیق داریم، این برای ما خیلی مهمه که یه نیروی توی اون منطقه و یه نیروی مسلمان در واقع داره برای همین ارزش‌های یکسان می‌جنگه.
حرف درستیه، ولی من توصیه میکنم باز عمیق‌تر بشن در این زمینه، جای عمیق‌تر شدن داره.
Yes, it's a very true statement what you just said, but he's also suggesting, recommending you to even get deeper with the movement because there's so much to explore.
Oh, yes, we're only scratching the surface. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate this time in this interview.
با خوشحالی اولا بهشون خیر مقدم میگم توی مراسم ما.
Esham is also grateful for the opportunity and he welcomes you to our gathering.
بعد برایشون آرزوی موفقیت میکنم در رسالت رسانه‌ای که دارن.
And he wishes you all the best in your journalism journeys.
Shukran.
Hopefully we'll see each other soon again.
I hope so too. Thank you. Assalamu. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching and hearing from the Ayatollah. We'll have more interviews coming, so stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying this opportunity to hear from people that are involved in this. No, they're not paying me anything. I'm not getting paid anything for this. I believe in freedom. I've spent time in the Middle East myself. There are good people all over the world. We can't pigeonhole people, and these people are really fighting for freedom, just like we did in our American Revolution. So I hope this opened up some eyes, and I thought it was an opportunity to interview this Ayatollah who's a freedom fighter, freedom for religion, freedom for his country, for his people, somebody who was imprisoned for 5 years by the Shah and also by the Iranian regime at this time. So we have to not become closed-minded. We need to be aware of who our real enemy is and who isn't. So thank you for this time and listening to my guest, the Ayatollah. Thank you, and we'll be back with another interview soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. I'm trying to shut this off here.
And that the illegitimate
Doesn't want to stop.
regime of the mullahs, it must